Alright, well, welcome back to Deceiver here, where we last left off, where I was working on the textures. Just want to make a quick check here to make sure that everything's up and running. Don't want to have any glitches like we had last time. So, like I said on the last stream, I was gonna do the edge things off screen. I missed this guy, so I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we can get into the more nitty-gritty stuff. So let's go. Let's cut across there. Is that what we want? Yeah. No, that's not where we want it. I don't think. Wait. Ah, yeah. Nope. Whoops. Let's erase that. Went a little high there. We want to be down on this part. It's a little hard to tell since it's all splayed everywhere, but. Just moving right along here. I'll cut down this way. Oh, you know what? Okay, down this side. Oops. I'm sure this is just absolutely riveting. A lot of texture work is almost like watching grass grow in a way. Staring at the screen for nigh on several hours or so. Okay, I think we're all right there. So, be sure. So, I think everything's pretty much in play. Just gotta wait for it to finish saving. So, we have our general basis. Yeah, it was announced, but I announced on my Discord, so gotta be there to get it. Anyway. So, okay. Now then, the sticky wicket here. So, okay, we've got everything in play, so now we gotta get more details going in. Now, what I was thinking was, for the hand grip, was that it was, like, engraved, like it had, like it was, there's grooves cut out into the thing, so let's get ourselves a nice brush. I think maybe 24 or 25. Yeah, it looks like about a good size. So, let's see. Alright. Duplicate that, scooch. Don't know how well this will end up looking, but we'll get to that point once we actually get the textures finished up. Scooch these out a bit wider. Oops, I didn't select this layer. And dupe. Oof. Okay. Do that. Okay, make some adjustments. Yeah, I think that's about what we want. The main thing I'm trying to do is make sure this is all relatively even. Don't want it to be, what's the word? Too weird looking? too off kilter. I mean, like, if you're thinking like this is a handmade weapon, then it's not gonna be perfect. And that's sort of the thing to think of, because no, these layers. There's those layers. Because I think that's a thing that some people do too much, is make it too machined, I guess is the word to use. Is it looks too well done. Well, not. I mean, it's too perfect, too well done, too machined. I guess is. I'm not sure if I'm really coming across quite right there, but the basic idea is that it's too refined, and you need to consider the uh, you need to consider the era and everything that the weapon is being made for. But so you want perfection. Too much perfection is something you would generally want to try to, because the key to realism is imperfections. It's like if this wood was too clean, like I'm not sure if I have the, yeah, if it was just no, if it was no, if it was just this, come to think of it, well, if it was just this we work with, it looks like wood, yeah, but it's too much, it's too nice of wood. And, you know, Deceiver here is an old weapon. It's probably an artifact. Maybe. Who knows? Possibly. But the fact of the matter is that it's still ancient. And while I see this scene here, I'm probably going to get to tidy that up a bit. To the patch tool. Or maybe, yeah, patch tool. Patch tool should be fine. But the thing is that, you know, realism comes from imperfection. You have to make something look, real, it has to have those little imperfections in it. Scratches, dirt, grime, age. So it's not too clean, too pristine. And I generally try to accomplish that as best I can. And I think I do a reasonable job. Certainly better than I used to. So anyway, now we want to get these dang grooves going, so I'm going to actually zoom in a bit here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm using a bevel and emboss layer style to give it some nice look. Now, let's see. The thing also is depth. Okay, there we go. Now we're cooking. Yeah, let's push that out a bit more. That I don't. Oh yeah. Let's soften that up a bit. Because we want to kind of avoid, if we can, the hard. There's not much fall off in the highlights, as you can highlight and shadows, as you can see. It kind of just sort of like ends. So I'm going to use a soften parameter here to sort of try and push the softness up, make it a little bit more gradiated. And let's get a satin in here. Set that, maybe? Maybe not. Let's try inner glow. Let's do center. Set that to multiply. Then black as the ace of spades. Actually, let's try linear burn. I'm not sure that this is. Oh, okay. Not sure that's really gonna get the effect I want. It's a bit of fussing around. Maybe an inner shadow would do better for us. Hello? Oh, duh. It's set to white. But that's a good thing to keep in mind if you're like if you have something like black on a white background, you don't have to like spend all this time using like the magic wand tool or some nonsense like that, getting rid of it. You can just, you know, hit multiply, set that transfer mode, and it'll knock that white right out. So now, the main thing I'm trying to accomplish here is get a nice, make these grooves dark. And I was hoping to do a C. Outer glow's not gonna really give what we want. Neither is inner glow. We might have to do it by edge. Yeah, that's more what we want, I think. But since linear burn is so harsh, we need to kind of bring it down. Mainly trying to get like a false ambient occlusion effect here. We probably could set multi. Ugh, that looks awful. And the fact that it's not there. Need to bring up the opacity more. Of course, the problem is that we've got this nonsense going on. But well, I suppose we want to. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of finagling that has to be done. Try and get things laid out. I suppose if nothing else, I could do like maybe an outer glow multiply. Set that to black. Probably bring her down a bit. Spruce it out. Just to kind of blend things in here, so that there's the sloping comes into play. Just so that the shadow from here kind of blends up into there. Yeah, it's a little too much. 70 might work. Okay, I think that does good. So we'll just leave it at that. We might want to come back and... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the bevel and emboss and change it to one of the chisels. Maybe chisel soft. Chisel hard, chisel soft. It's not really giving much result. I guess we'll just keep it at that. But I could probably take the shadows down a trifle, so it's not so strong. It doesn't make it look so weird. Do about the same here. There we go. I think that looks good. Alright, so that makes that's our grooves. And our groovy handle. So now we've got the matter of this. Now I want some kind of like engraved pattern here. The question is, what's that pattern gonna be? So I'm gonna take a quickie check up here. Right, well, let's see. Well, what I can do at least first... This axis is based off has an engraved version. Just trying to find a good image. Okay, so... Right. So I'm going to get my color block layer, hit that, and actually tick on contiguous. So it doesn't select everything that's the same color. Because if you have to contiguous set to off with the magic wand, it'll select everything that's the same color, which is handy if you need to do something en masse for all that's the same color, but in this case we just want this guy. So, let's see. Contract by maybe 6 pixels? That's not really quite what we want. Contract by 6 pixels again. I think that'll do. Okay. So we want this to come down. It's gonna be kind of sloppy, but my intent is to change this into a path. Okay. Whoops. So I'm gonna try and follow the width here, at least as best as I can. It doesn't matter if I'm being a bit sloppy, or if I don't get it quite right, because then I can just refine the edge when I convert this into a path. And I'll have to do some refinement anyway, because the conversion's not the greatest. And it ends up adding a lot of ends up adding a lot of extraneous nodes. Oh, come on now. Okay, that should do. This might contract it a little bit more. Probably by like 4 this time, just to get it further away from the edges. Okay, so I'm gonna straighten that out a bit. Okay, looking good. So now make work path. Tolerance, yes. Okay. So now we've got this as a path. So I'll switch to path tool. And yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. So many vertices that are unnecessary. It's going to take a little bit to prune all those out. So I'm going to turn that off so I can see at least what I'm doing. So let's get started getting rid of these things. Let's unconvert that. Get rid of this. We just need. Whoops. We only need what we need. Need what's necessary. Dang it. To maintain the shape of the. Keep making those. We'll keep you. Get rid of you. Bish, bash, bosh. Get rid of that. Right, these. There we go. Let's cut this stuff out. This stuff too. I don't want to add another. Got enough of those. I don't need more. Come on now. I'm gonna have to reconvert this into a Bezier curve because we don't need that then. Because of the way this silliness works, I have to do it again. This one is really goofed up. Oops. Probably get rid of that one. So we only need this one, I would think, to give us what we need. Let's cut that one out and redo it. Pull that out. Get rid of that. think we can, yeah, looks like we can get away with that one. So I'm gonna reconvert this one, I'm gonna scooch it up a bit too. Just wanna make sure that we've got what we want, right spots. And go down and eliminate all these other silly things. Ugh. Man, it's just a crowd of this stuff. It's always a lot of... Really gotta... Oh, dang it. Come here. Okay. Should be able to carry on back through this stuff then. Actually, you know what? Can I... Nope, dang it. Is there a way I can... Can I delete the anchor points all at once? Instead of having to do this individually? Maybe control delete. Shift. Nope. Oh, no, that just deleted that layer, and that's great. That's not what I wanted. Well, it didn't delete it, it just filled it with white. I suppose that's a useful thing to know. That just goes individually. There has to be a way to get rid of these things all at once. Because the delete button just deletes them and the path they're connected to. Might have to do it individually if I can't figure it out. Well, it's a bother, but... Dang it. Oh, now what? What are we doing here? Let's get out of here and just made an accidental path. Eliminate that, cut this one out. Do want to maintain at least some of these, darn it, to use for guiding the path. I think that one will be a good one. Just gotta cut them away. Cut, 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 cut. Nope. Wanna cut them, don't wanna leave them. Okay. Alright. So now we've got more of a mess up here. Oh god dang it. Keep making these rogue paths. Doesn't help that the vertices are so small. I don't know if there's a way. See if I can make them bigger. I don't know. Eliminate that one. Okay. Right. Drag. Oof. Oh, fart. Come on. You stubborn baby. Oof. There we go. There's a lot of fiddling around here. Let's get rid of some of this crap up here. Go. Do about the same up here. Cut that out. Doot. Probably add another vertex right there. Okay. There we go. Probably, I think if not too worried about these parts, because I'll decide which one I like, if I like this better, if I like that better, and then I can just symmetrize. Oh, I really wish I could get rid of these all at once, but I know I can't. There has to be a way to do so, come on. Well, if there is a way, I don't know it. Doing that just does that. Oh, well, there you go. That's a way that works. Not exactly what I would have liked, but would have wanted, but, you know, take it as you go. Arc. Okay, so now armed with that knowledge, let's get rid of this. Get rid of the rest of these. Well, we'll leave you. Don't think these will be of any use. Connect. Whoops, and you will cut out, you will change and fix. Eliminate that. Turn that one off and redo it. Probably, no, we should turn that off and pair it. I think there's an extra vertex in there. Let's bring that down to here. Pull that up. Now let's keep that. Need it. Come on, come here. There we go. It's all getting that shape. Getting that shape right. And whoops, there we go. Okay. Just gotta, whoops. You know, I could probably actually, well, no. I can get rid of that though. I'll try and keep things at least reasonably adequate looking. So we're getting a thing. It's much more refined now. Okay. Ugh, good lord, that went bad. Forgot about that thing's existence. Pull that out, sort of fuss it around. I might want to put another guy in there to sort of keep things together. Whoops. Come here, we go. Take a hot look at the mesh. Okay. So I think this result here is the result we want to use. Okay, so now that we finally got the path refined, after a zillion years. Mostly refined. It's not quite on point here. I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna throw another guy in here. It's down. So we want to have just a reasonable structure. You have things even as best we can get them. Just sort of at the same distance from the edge as we can all the way around. Okay. Alright, so now I'm gonna save again. Since this seems to be pretty alright. I might nudge this up. There we go. Save again. Okay, let's get a new layer going. Make selection. Radius 0.3. Fill that with white. Very good. Now I'm gonna bring this up. Since I want what you doing? Since I want this side, not this side, I'm gonna take all this and line it up with that middle bit. Take the number key. That should do. Cut that sucker in half. Duplicate. Select. Retransform. Flip horizontal. Alternately, what you can do, make it a little easier. I'm gonna zoom in a bit if I can. Now this little crosshair here, you can move that right to there. Then flip horizontal. Then it'll flip it right on that. Still have to nudge it inward so that it'll line up. There we go. Merge. Okie dokie. So, now with that done, set that to multiply. Turn off that. And I want kind of a crap. That's not good. Don't want to have that in the middle. What's your deal? Let's nudge that in one tick more. Hopefully. There we go. I don't think we have that center ridge. Nope, we don't. Good. We do not. So, and do a pillow emboss, which will make it kind of a nice little engraved kind of deal. Although it doesn't seem to be going quite all the way around, but we could probably fix that with a little bit of light fussing. I want global light to be disabled. Okay. And alternately what I could do is, well, I think that's fine. So we've got that going for us. Save. Now the question is the pattern. Let's do an inner glow instead of what we were doing. Set that to multiply and change it to black. Six, I'm gonna do an outer glow as well, set to 6. 6, not 7. Multiply that as well. Okay. I'm gonna set that to 50. So we've got kind of like an outer thingamablob there. Save. Sort of like an outer Border? Yeah, that's a border. We got ourselves a border. So I'm gonna select that, make a new layer. And I'm gonna shrink this down a little. Probably like maybe 4 pixels. Would that do? Or is that too? I think that's actually not far enough. So I'm gonna do another undo contraction. I'm gonna try 7 pixels. Yeah, I think that's good. So fill that. Multiply. And I'm gonna do a pattern overlay. See what I've got here. See if there's anything. So I have a scroll work pattern. I'm just gonna try that first and see. At least I had a scroll work pattern. Not sure if it's in here anymore. That's the wrong pattern. So I've got this, but that's not what we're looking for. This is case hardened pattern. See? Great for like if you're doing a case hardened sort of thing, but not what I'm looking for here. Let's see. When was the last time that was? It's probably not gonna. Darn it. Override. I don't think I have that pattern here. The scroll work pattern I'm looking for. So I'm gonna have to get inventive. So, well, I've got this going. This thing. We'll keep that there. Save. Then what I think I might do. I'm just gonna once this finishes saving, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit because we're starting to get up in the density, file density for the PSD. So I'm just gonna with like some brush, about maybe 20 pixels. I'm just kind of figure something out here. Just see where my creativity takes me. So, considering there's really no theme Deceiver had, at least in the original game, I'm just trying to think what could possibly, well, now that bring that sort of paralyzed state as to like, where am I even gonna start? Like, how am I even going to, what am I even gonna do? So, well, you know what? I'm gonna rotate the canvas counterclockwise. Give it a moment. Okay, that's not the angle I wanted. Counterclockwise. There we go. Here's the wood. Okay, so maybe at this angle I'll get a better idea. So, I don't know. I don't know what's this is gonna yield, but you know, whatever. Ah, not that far out. I'll kind of try to. Well, I suppose I could just duplicate and mirror it instead of trying to flip vertical. Let's see, go from there. No, let's try. It kind of looks like a fountain. I'm not sure if that really suits Deceiver's theme, so to speak, but I mean, well, that just looks. I don't think so. It's either like a jet of air or a fountain. It looks really like a fountain, honestly. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do up over in here. Guess I'm just gonna kind of. No, I don't know. I don't think this is working. Okay, brain, think of something different. Do something else. Let's bring this down to 17 and see what happens now. Yeah, got it on that. I don't want it to be like some Nordic pattern. That wouldn't make sense either. Whoops. Well, let's see where this avenue of thought takes us. I don't know. I'm thinking I guess just go whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay, cross hatching. No, no. What Deceiver, the tic-tac-toe board that you smack into your enemy's sternum. No, there's got to be something else here. Take two. Well, that was take two. Now it's take three. Yeah, the thought of doing actual scroll work by hand makes my head hurt. That's why I wish that pattern was in here, because maybe I could have used that. I'm just gonna have to work with what I've got here. Let me see, let me think. Needs something here, there needs to be something. But what would suit a weapon named Deceiver? Not a tic-tac-toe board. Or the letter H. Yeah, just some... Well, that just looks weird. I don't even know what that is. Tried to be Japanese, I guess, maybe. Well, let's see. I guess... Well, you know what? I'm gonna bring this down in size a little bit more to 10. And I have an idea what I'm gonna do with this, actually. Do a pattern overlay. It's what I also had in mind. If I can find a good... What's this? What is that? Ant farm. But you know what? I kind of like that. That looks interesting. Maybe. I don't know. I guess? Maybe? I don't know. If I get ant farm in here again, we can make, well, we don't need, the bevel and emboss approach is unnecessary since the normal map will bring this up. So I mean, that's a possibility? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, well, the main thing is that I'm trying to find... Because what I also want, what I had in mind was kind of something like the steel war axe that has, you know, there's the bridging pattern and then there's the stippled pattern. There's a stippling pattern between the bridges. So I just need something that would work for that under pattern. I mean, I guess. Possibly not. So that might be. Maybe, but that would probably have to be inverted. I don't know if I can. I can't invert the. Unless I set it to difference. Oh, where's multiply? Missing multiply. There we go. I still kind of like how that looks. I think I might actually go with that ant farm texture. Because it's kind of interesting, honestly. It doesn't have to be like anything particularly fancy, it just has to look different. And I guess this sort of, I don't know, it just seems to kind of work. At least in my opinion, I don't know. However, maybe we should do. Well, let's re-rotate back into the proper arrangement. There we go. Get the bevel and emboss going again. Ugh. Damn it. Oh. Okay, never mind. Let's see here. No, that's not that. Where's the, here it is. Main thing, I'm trying to find the pattern that's, or the style that looks like it's recessed. Just that. Turn the pattern back on. And there's the outer doodad. I'm probably going to want to select this and crush it inward more. Modify, contract, maybe by 4 pixels. Convert, delete. Main thing is like trying to pull it further away from this outer rim. Probably ease up on the shadows and probably bring the size up. Ugh, okay. Now then, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. And for this one, I'm going to turn off that. Whoops. So, okay, wait, yes. I want that. Let's reselect that. Render clouds. Okay. So I want to kind of try, I don't even know if this is going to work, but. Well, doesn't help, does it? I'll select that and then do the clouds filter. I don't know about that. Interesting idea, but didn't really work. There. So we just have this. Set to multiply. Now I might think I'm gonna take this down a little more to 60. Okay. I think that'll do. Alright, so I guess that kind of does the does that. Might revisit this. I don't know. I'm still kind of torn on this. I kind of like how this looks, but I'm not sure if it really works. I don't know. Well, I'm not going to obsess over it because it's like if the result's okay, then okay. I'm not going to like spend 5 hours honestly trying to figure out some goofy pattern. So, but now that we've gotten that, we're going to want to sort of reflect it, or at least try to reflect it into various spots. That's not going to work. It's that top bit. So I'm going to get the path tool in on this. This is what the path tool is good for. And if you close it, there we go. Pull it up. Okay, so now I'm going to drag that out. I don't want it to mimic how the angles of this. I want it to be kind of rounded. Nice and roundy. So, once we got that nice and rounded, we can actually, you know what? This can come back down into here because this doesn't connect to anything really. It's just out there. Blink, blink, blink. Oh, come on now. There we go. So we've got that. I think we could probably stand to transform the path a bit. Shrink that down. Push it up. Splay it out. There we go. Don't know why I hit Control D. I guess just force of habit. So, well, we can use this layer that we were using for the pattern to make a selection. Fill with this. Not with that case hardened pattern, boy. Okay. So I'm gonna copy this layer style and plop it into here. Paste. There we go. Then duplicate that. Free transform, bring her down to the inside of this. Display it out. Bring it down a bit more. Okay. Good. Then let's copy that layer style. Paste it to override this one's. There we go. So now I've got that pattern reflected on there. So let's save. Important step. And for this bad boy, you're gonna click that. It's down a little bit. so. And we want to... I think what we want to do is we want to have it... We don't want it to go as far as we did it. I want to bring it down so it's within these edges here. And also it's a bit too far. Let's change that to rectangular marquee. Bring that to the center. Bring this one in. You know what? Rewind. Back to there. We still are gonna need to finagle these around a little bit. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I think it was fine where it was. Delete. Because that's the end part. It's just we want to cut it off. I'm going to use the eraser tool for this job. Just cut it off. And close there. Alright. Kind of sort of like that. Oh, bother. Rewind again, because I just realized I want to be a little bit more... Darn it. Come on, you silly toot. A little more accurate to the contours up there. I'm gonna do this again. There. So I'm gonna give that little boy a blur. Yeah, that should be fine. Multiply. Bevel and emboss again. De-alias that guy. Just lighten that up. There. I think that looks good. Looks nice. Looks dandy. And save again. Alright. So, now then... I think I'm just gonna put some decorative nonsense here. Maybe decorative squiggles or something. I'm not sure what variety of decorative squiggles, but something. I'll put something there. Question is what? What? I'm not gonna put like text or something. No, nope, that wouldn't do. I was thinking of like putting the weapon's name in runic, but since this thing comes from pagan, and pagan didn't have runic language. So we'll probably just do something else. I'm not sure quite what yet. I could just leave it plain for all I care. And looking at that, looking at these, I might just desaturate those a little bit. Oh, you know what? I just had an idea. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just a nice little S shape kind of deal. Just like that. Whoop. Just like that. Gonna give that baby a stroke. That's a little too thick. Probably that. Let's give that baby a stroke again. I think that should do. Select that. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Just like that. Okay. Set that to multiply. And probably emboss? Yeah, I think so. Lessen that up and then we'll we're gonna make it kind of shallow like that. Yeah, I think that's good, shallow. Satin effect is good. Just want to lighten it up a bit. So, okay. So I'm going to copy the layer style, and then I'm going to clear it. So I can duplicate that. Flip horizontally. Well, hell, actually, you know what? That looks better. Oh, yeah, so actually, you know what? I'm going to clip off the top edges here. Just like that, so we have a nice little... Oh, looks like the Fierce Deity sword. He's got to put the handle in there and go to town. And looking at the front of the side, it looks like really pointy domino goggles. Domino mask. There we go. Whoops. Let's really fine-tune that. There we go. Very nice. So we duplicate that, and we'll put the tips together. We might be able to get away with one more. That's always what's nice, is when you're making things like this, or the happy accidents like that. You know, you duplicate something or you do something like that, and it ends up being better than what you were doing before. So you're like, oh hell yeah, I'll use that. So we'll merge these together. I'm gonna scooch it over. I'm gonna duplicate, move it over to this side. That, merge them together, and then paste that layer style I had copied earlier. There we go. So I think that should do it. Now the thing I wanted to do is take the saturation of this out. Oof, a little bit. So hue saturation. Just take that down. Because I don't want it to be too what's the word? Too orange, too goldy, too golden yellow. It's a little bright. I think that's good. Like maybe minus 14. Okay. Yeah, minus 14 should do. Okay, so let's save that. So now that we've gotten this is just a diffuse texture. This is probably the thing that takes the longest. So now, since all is ready to go, get ready to save it as, well, save it in the DDS format. Of course, the problem is that since I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a window tweak here. So, okay. It really would be nice if the thing I'm using to capture would capture the... Well, I wonder actually if... Well, I'm not sure if that's going to help. I'll probably have to switch it over, because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm going to do next. So... yeah. Transition you guys over to a different view of this, because I want to be able to show you what's going to happen next. So, save as, and if you're going to be doing textures for Skyrim, you need the, I think this is the NVIDIA DDS plugin. Yeah, the NVIDIA DDS plugin format. There's the Intel one, but that's for Fallout 4. So, for the purposes of this, I'm going to save it as 24 BPP here, or 8.8.8. I usually save them in that format, the diffuse textures and all that, at the onset, and later I'll compress them. It's just that I have a higher quality thing to work from in case I have to do something to the texture itself. I generally have the PSD on hand though, so usually if I need to change something, I'll adjust it in the PSD and then resave the DDS. So, save that. And that's our diffuse texture. So now since I have a different capture going, I'll just switch right over to Nifscope. And here's our messy looking Deceiver. So now we need to load that diffuse texture in. I'm going to cut this out because we don't have a normal map texture yet. It's gonna, well, that just looks like butts. We'll just have to deal with it. Okay. So let's see, textures. Oh, there's Ultima. Weapons, Deceiver, and the Deceiver DDS. So we can kind of see what it'll look like. Since we've got the environment map kind of going right now, it's sort of going on. And now looking at this, this kind of looks like butts. These grooves here. So I might change that. I think I will. I think I might do something with this. But I mean, this looks still pretty nice. I kind of like that. Maybe. I'm still torn about it. I guess I'll finalize my thoughts on it when we do the normal maps. Either that or I could scale it up, but I don't know. And while we're at it, I'm going to just get this straightened out. Copy and paste there. And then I'm going to go over to here and get the bronze hue map. Just get that off and out of the way first. Alright, it looks kind of nice even though we're not all the way there yet. And we'll do the same here. Paste that in there. And you can see how this is kind of going to look. Oh, you know what? That should have been wood too. Where is that? Take a look in the texture. Okay, that's where it's at. So this part should have been wood. Fortunately, I think, yep. All we need to do is select this, and then fill it. Do the same for each of these layers above it. There we go. So then we can just save again. We save the DDS. Go back to Nifscope, and there we go. Now that's been wooded up. So now that we've gotten that in play, we're gonna come back and get rid of these because these look like stupid. Where are they? There they are. Come back around to these guys. Duplicate. Bring it up. Never mind. Where's that path I had made? Here it is. Use this as a basis. Ah, okay. We'll see how that works. Let's stroke that path. Don't know why I keep hitting Control D. That doesn't turn the path off. Dupe. And flip horizontal. And we've got that again. So I'm going to trim it up. Oh, we need to merge together first. And we can trim it up. Get it back to that fierce deity sword look. There we go. Now I'm going to take this and rotate it. So we've got ourselves a kind of like a little floral thing, honestly. So we got some weird glitching there, but Let me see now, actually. See if I can avoid that. Let's try rotating in the other direction. Well, I don't know if there's any way I can prevent that from happening. I could probably just blur this a little bit. Then we'll just center that up. And get this one's layer style and copy paste it. There we go. Is that layer style? I think it is. Probably push the satin up a little bit for it. Okay. Maybe probably a little bit more depth. Oh, no. Probably inner bevel or something. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, because the thing that'll truly give it depth is the, well, you know what? Well, truly give it depth is the normal map, which we'll do once we finish fine-tuning everything here. Sharpening. Okay, I think that's good. So, save that PSD. I'm gonna revise that. What is this? That's that outer part. There's that inner part. There's the pattern overlay. I'm gonna scale it up. 146%. Resave the DDS. No, I don't want a GIF. I want a DDS. I think that could probably stand to be bigger. I might redo it. Look at the path here. I'm gonna redo that little plus sign thing. Whoops. But I'm gonna scale the path up here. Then stroke. Oh, whoops. It's going into that layer. We want a new layer. We don't want to free transform it. Stop that. There we go. Hitting Control D again. So, okay. Flippy, horizontal. Zoom in a bit to get rid of that weirdness. Then merge the layers and cut this stuff off. There we go. I'll rotate that inward now. I'm curious. Feeling dangerous. I'm gonna try something a little weird here. Just want to see how it'll look. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I think I will do that. But I'm thinking of something else here. Merge it all, please. Thank you. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. I don't know how it'll look, but again, I'm gonna try it. Where are you? Where are you in this mess? All the way up there. Okay. You're not really doing what I was hoping you would do, so forget that. We'll just leave it as it is. Layer style paste. Let's see, outer bevel. Don't know what that was all about. I'm still streaming, fortunately. It wasn't the stream suddenly cutting out like it did last time. Okay. Alright. Let's turn that global light off. Try and get... It's a little difficult getting this the way we want it to look. Dang it. Don't want to modify the global light because that'll affect everything. I'm just gonna leave it at 120 and 30. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we've got that instead of the really tiny one we had before. So now we'll DDS it again. Okay. Alright. There we go. So I think that looks better. Maybe something could be over here, I don't know. Well, you know, I think it's alright. So, now we do the normal maps. I like to take the normal maps out of the way first because reasons. So I'm gonna turn off all of this stuff, and you'll see why soon enough. So we've got all that turned off. I'm gonna merge visible. Alright, I'm gonna duplicate. Filter, NVIDIA, here. Filter, NVIDIA tools. If you've got the DDS plugin, well, actually no, this is a separate thing. It's normal map filter, and I usually do 3x3, but 4 sample is good for if you really want to push that hardness. But I usually go for a scale of 1 or less, like usually 1 to 0.5, because I don't want too much bumpiness from all this stuff. So let's see how 1 works. But I do want a little bit of stuff in there, but I don't want too much. Now the reason I duplicated this was for another reason. And that, well, we'll do that later. Was to get was for the hand grip. And then I'll do a 6 for the handle, just to push a little more detail, just to get some more depth on there. So we'll come to this, turn contiguous off, so I can select all those, and I'll select this. That way, invert selection, Control-Shift-I, delete all that, so then we've got this. Now, I'm going to open this up, because I'm going to flatten all this. We need our specular map, and the specular lives in the alpha channel of the normal map. So, I immediately regret merging everything, because I'm just going to merge that stuff down, because this will be useful. So, let's do all that again, because I want to select those, and invert the selection, so I don't affect the brightness of that stuff, of the wooden stuff. I want to just affect the brightness of the metal stuff. Now just throw some contrast in there. Push it up a bit. go. A little fussing with the levels too. Okay. I think that's good. Now I'm gonna invert to go back to the wooden stuff. I'm gonna do a little bit of contrasting and stuff. So I don't want the specularity to be completely smooth on the hand grip. I do want there to be some degree of specularity, but not a whole lot. So now that we've done that, I can save the normal map. Back to that DDS plugin. Underscore N. And I'm about to sneeze. Ah. Okay. Alright, so save that. And this I'm going to do as 32 ARGB. I'm doing, like I said, when all said and done, I'm going to come back and compress this stuff. So, now that we've done that, copy this. It's a good rule of thumb when you do the textures is to follow this convention, you know, Deceiver, your weapon name here, or your, like, I don't usually do _D for diffuse. I usually just do like the weapon's name, like Deceiver, and then the normal maps and the environment mask map, you know, _N and _M repeat respectively. Yeah. And also, I'm a derp and forgot that we need the additional details here. So we'll start with the hand grips. Now I want to make sure I don't save this PSD, because if I do, I will screw myself. So I'm going to clear that layer style. New. Get a flat 50% gray. I'm going to blur I'm going to do blur more on those. And do an outer glow, set to overlay. Thank you. Really get that out there, because I want to try to replicate how the texture looks here. You can see how that looks. I want to try and replicate that with this. So I'm actually gonna do another blur more. And I don't want the glow to be too prominent either. So now I'm gonna merge that into that gray layer. Back to the normal matte filter. Push that to like, I don't know, maybe 8. I'm not really entirely sold by that. Come here. There we go. I'm gonna push that up. Bring that down some. Nope, that's unnecessary. Do 10. I think that'll work. We'll see. Set that to overlay. Next thing is this thing. Once again, make a new layer. 50% gray. Fill that sucker. Now this, I think I can get away with as it is. So I'm going to invert that. I'm going to just set it to 5, and 6. Now the thing is it's a little hard to keep straight. But generally, when something looks raised in the normal map, it'll be recessed on when it's actually applied to the model. And it's vice versa if you want it to look raised. You want it to be like, if it's recessed in the normal map, it's raised. If it's raised in the normal map, it's recessed. But sometimes it doesn't always do. So now for this, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. because what we want, another 50% gray layer, and we're gonna fill that with white. Let's turn that off. Do a little bit of a blur. Maybe let's undo that and do a blur more. There we go. And like with the other thing, outer glow, a little bit of an overlay. Bring that out and bring it down quite a ways. Don't want this to stand out too much. Okay, so merge that in. Normal map. Invert because we want this to be recessed. Set that to 5. Okay, so overlay. Now we come to this part. New layer. Want to fill it with 50% gray, can't forget. And I'm going to switch back over to this and change this to normal. Bring it up all the way. And then merge that down. Then I'm gonna set this to like 3, I think. Okay. And overlay once again. So that's that bit. Now then we've got this bit. This we can get away with. Normal map. I think 3 should be fine, so do that. We might have to do some adjustments. We'll see how things go. Let's invert that. I'm going to set this to 4. Alright, so set that to overlay. Come back to this one. And once again, we got to do the same old song and dance. New gray layer. Duplicate. Select that. Fill that with white. Turn that off. And let's do a blur more. Soften that guy up. Outer glow. Overlay. Bring that down. Probably about 30. Maybe 28. Let's bring the size down a bit. Right, merge. And normal map. Invert. I think? Yes. Let's do that 7. Yeah, raised is lowered. And now we come back to this. Gray layer. Doot. Turn off the bevel and emboss. Bring this up. Normal 100. Merge that in. Set that to 3. And hit overlay. And that we don't want. We want these guys. These I'm gonna select both of them. I'm gonna do a fill with white. So we've got these nice guys. I'm gonna do a gray layer. And I think I'm gonna... No, that's color overlay. We want outer glow, which is up here. Set that to overlay. Bring it out a bit. Bring it way down, probably to like 16. We want these to be recessed too. So normal map, 6. That's raised. Yes, that's what we want. We want it to be raised, because raised is lowered. As backwards as that sounds. So now we go back to the end map, normal map, still set to that. Okay, now back to this. And you can see now we've got roughness and depth and stuff in here. And that stuff's raised. Yeah, it's really hard to keep track of what's what. But fortunately, we can just invert that shit. I think that's recessed as it should be. It's a little hard to tell. It's a little hard to tell, but save this again. It's really completely backwards. It's like, you know, it looks recessed here, but it looks raised here, but it might look recessed in game. It's all kinds of all over the place. But okay, so we've got that. We've got this. So now I'm gonna take this and copy it, make a new layer, or no, not a new layer, but a new thing, new image. And now, once I stop hiccuping, I'm gonna keep that as it is because, and this is the beauty, this is the nice thing about keeping things separate, is this probably won't have a normal map. Maybe, I mean a environment map, not a normal map, what am I even saying? So, I can just fuss around with, oh god dang it. It's in gray mode. Change it to RGB. It's in gray mode, the curves is backwards. So I'm just gonna push this up real good. If you want things to be really shiny, you have to bring it up pretty high in terms of brightness, because the whiter something is, the more reflective it is. So I think that should be good. And I generally downscale the environment masks. Let's do a little bit of sharpening. Because they don't, well, I don't know about that. It'd be nice if I could do like a very light amount of sharpening. Probably do it with unsharpened mask. Like five sharpening, 5 sharpens, maybe a 10. Yeah, that's, don't want to be too sharp, just a little touch of sharpness. I generally downscale my environment mask layer or texture because it doesn't need to be the same dimensions. This I'm gonna actually compress this. It doesn't need to be the same dimensions as the main diffuse texture, because the purpose of it is to tell what's shiny and what ain't. So now that I've got that in play, I can copy this and put in the M. Bam. So now you can see how it all shines and stuff. You know what? It might need to be darkened. So that's in place. Now we need to drop that N layer onto this. Forgot to do that earlier. Then I think I'm just gonna take that out. By default, if there's no environment mask set, it'll use the specular channel on the normal map to determine what's shiny. So now I'm going to come over here, I'm going to drop the N layer onto this, and then the M layer. There you go, look at that. Ain't that glossy? That's all shiny and new. So, now let me see here. There's our normal map stuff. This I'm not sure. I might take off the bevel and emboss here. And take the satin and just bring it up a little bit. We could keep the bevel and emboss there, I don't know. As it is. So now I'm gonna save this. Oh shoot, I forgot it's still open. Save as DDS, Deceiver. And we want to save that as a 24. I think the problem is that in this and the normal map, I'm gonna open the normal map up. Because this isn't quite dark enough, so I'm gonna get the burn tool here. So I think the problem is it's looking a little weird. Probably gonna have to come down back to our normal map setup here. Not sure why that's still not looking like it's recessed, but it may just be a matter of perspective. But still, I do think that this does need to be burned a little bit. So I'll make sure we're in there, and just want to give it a little more darkening so that it's not as shiny as everything else around it. Probably gonna, once I'm done with that, tweak around. Oops. No. Over there. Okay. I think that's good. So we'll save that. No, we need to save as because it defaults to the Intel DDS one. Make sure we're at 24 ARGB, 32 ARGB, not 24. What am I saying? It should hopefully do a little better. We might need to come around to this and do a little bit of that burning too. I'm going to bring it down in size quite a bit. So the main thing is that since this interior part's kind of light-ish, some spots it's not really helping us. It's not really differentiating between the outer and the inner. But I think that should do. So we'll save that DDS. It's the M. No alpha. That should probably do a little better. Hopefully. So now we've got these bad boys here. There's a grip. I'm wondering if perhaps it's a little harsh, isn't it? Well, when in doubt, let's check this. You can always just bring this down like 6.75 or something, just dull it a little bit. And I'm going to change the Q map on this to simple gray. There you go. Like how that looks. Yeah, that looks better. And while I'm at it, let's see, I'm gonna push this up to 1.5 as far as specularity goes. Because we want this to be kind of shiny. Got some gloss into it. This is already 1.5. We don't want that. I want it to be like 1. I'm also going to change to like 60. Maybe 50. I'm going to kind of spread the specularity out a bit. It's 80. Should be all right. So, but there you go. That's Deceiver. All said and done now. All textured and stuff. The only thing left really is fussing around with it in the game. And you know, I might do texture adjustments later or something like that if something doesn't satisfy me, but or something, I don't know. Really depends. But at any rate, that pretty much covers all that nonsense. I might save this normal map PSD if I have to do any adjustments, and I think I will do that. There we go. That way I also don't overwrite my main PSD file. I'm gonna save this over the main PSD file though, because this has that darkened star. We want to have that darkened star. So, yeah, that's there you go. That's how a weapon happens from start to finish. And guns are a lot more complicated. That would be a lot more than just like what, 3 streams, 4 streams so far. So, but I mean, it takes quite a bit of work to do, but it's always satisfying when it actually comes together in the end. I wonder if you know, I do kind of like that. A little duller. That's good. All right, so yeah, well, thanks for joining me on this stream. We have Deceiver all finished and wrapped up and stuff. So, I guess that'll be it for today. So catch me next time. It'll be, I don't know, maybe a new weapon, maybe something else. Who knows? We'll see. So catch you next time.